Йоу-йоу-йоу-йоу-йоу. Всем привет, всем здорово, всем хай, всем кус, всем кто смотрит эту трансляцию. Естественно, большинство из вас ее смотрят в записи. Всем приветик. Что, у нас начинается новый прикол. Вот эта веточка, она по акции. Мы должны ее... Ну, хочется стрима за 4 получить вот этот танчик. Как бы... Вот. Будем стараться, будем нагибать, будем двигаться. Потому что эта ветка в целом очень интересная. Вот. Стартуем с шестерочки. Это путь длинною в жизнь. По вот этим всем моментикам. По вот этим всем, короче. С плюшками совсем. В целом мы должны нестись очень быстро. Вот. Поэтому... Думаю, что никаких проблем не должно быть, по идее. Опять же, как обычно. Сейчас, секунду. Опа. Так. Есть, сюда есть. Есть. Так, тут есть. Это есть. Вот. И, в общем, мы стартуем. Вот этот момент. Вот. Полетели. Полетели нагибать. Нагибать рандомы. Нагибать те моменты. Конечно, меня очень сильно раздражает то, что мы максимально медленные, но ничего с этим не сделаешь. Придется что-то делать. Играем мы на голде, потому что на ББшках невозможно шпилить на таких пушках. Вот. Будем что-то думать. Будем лететь вперед. Плюшки. Полетели. Конечно, мне нравится лобешник вообще, ну типа, на вот этих уровнях практически никто не пробивает, даже в этот очень маленький сосочек, легенький такой, рублевый. Ну зачем ты это делаешь? Ну иди ж ты в очко. Шо? Дурачок совсем. Ну. Таким заниматься. Так. Становимся мы здесь. И будем отстреливать и то, и то. Блин, конечно, неудобно мы стоим. Танкуем, едем.
Не пробив. Командира поранено. Триплекс розбито, зона огляду зменшена. Пробили броню. Як не пробив?
Ой-ой-ой, как больно. Ой-ой-ой, как больно. У него пушечка поинтересней. У него поинтересней пушечка. У него, походу, топовая. По 150. Ну, это невозможно.
Броню пробито. Броню не пробили.
Опасно.
Не пробив. Ходову пошкоджено. Траки пошкоджені.
Очень тяжело. Играть на стоковой пушке. Я знаю, что музыки нет. Надо попробовать без музыки. Чуть позже включу. Подрублю чуть позже. На каток вылезет, не вылезет.
Гусениця зіскочила, рух неможливий. Гусениця відремонтована.
Опасно, опасно мы делаем. Делаем очень опасно. 1.6, ну как обычно. Как обычно. Один 9. Легенда, легенды. Сейчас вкатят просто и все.
Як не пробив. Машина знищена.
Ой-ой-ой-ой. 2.13. Легендарно. Легендарно. Ну ничего. В целом. В общем и целом. Ничего нового. Надо просто пушечку будет апнуть. И уже будет попроще. Бах. Понял.
Пошкоджено механізм повороту башти.
Все понятно. Одиннадцать. Ну, у меня 144 на голде, а там 148 просто на ББшках. 14. А сейчас один боечек и все, и будет. Будем уже стрелять поинтересней. С восьмерочками. Вкусно. Очень вкусно. Берлин. Блышковица. Так. Сейчас. Секундочку. Йоу-йоу-йоу-йоу-йоу. Сейчас. Опа, летим, летим. Так. Божечки, как же долго мы едем на позицию. Ла-ла-ла, ла-ла. XM, понятно. Лампочка. Птица. Хорошо. Вылазь, вылазь, вылазь. Тебя должен пробивать. Хотя бы куда-нибудь. Понял, понял. Хорошо. Отлично. Ой-ой-ой, как больно. Ой-ой-ой. Ой-ой-ой. А вылезешь, добей меня, ну чего ты? Оп. Это надо было, может быть, перекатить. Сто. Давай, 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 давай. Ага. Давай, брат. Сука.
Машина знищена.
Не получилось. Ну да похуй. Я тут ничего не сделал бы вообще от слова совсем. Но невозможно. Ничего. Увы и ах. Ну ничего, 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 ничего. Такс. Еще надо хороший бой. 2200. Просто дайте мне с шестерочками бой. Нормальную карту, чтобы я мог что-то настреливать. И будет счастье вам. Вот. Другое дело. Другое дело.
починається.
Так. Тут никто не поехал, нормально. Ой. Надо понимать, засветимся мы или нет. Если нет... Есть. Есть.
Броню не пробили. Броню пробито.
Хорошо.
Постріл.
Все, теперь надо... Уё. Отлично. Отличненько.
Гусениця
Отлично.
пошкоджена. Не пробив.
Нормально, Е75 нам делает. Делает. Блин, вот здесь вот. Или вот здесь вот. Бабах. Ноль пока что. 4-0 пока что. Да, вот здесь вот, походу. Или где он там прячется? Вот он.
Пробили броню.
Отлично.
Броню пробито. Файний постріл.
О.
Пробили.
Понял. Хорошо. Хорошо.
На мушці. Як не пробив? Броню не пробили. Не пробив. Слухаюсь, припинити стеження. пробиття. Є пробиття. Броню не пробили. Рацію пошкоджено, радіус зв'язку зменшений. Як не пробив? Броню не пробили. Броню не пробили. Ціль уражено.
Танканули, да?
Гусениці зіскочила. Стоїмо. Відновили траки. Полагодили траки. Можна їхати.
Вот это сейчас точно уже. С новой пушкой будем. Не будет этой, блядь, порнухи.
Пробили броню.
Красиво. Бах. Годится. Вот это годится, я годится. Вот это годится, я годится. Сталева стена. Все, слава богу, господи. 7,56. Сейчас разница 239. О, вот это еще надо апнуть надо эту пушечку. Так. В целом тут можно вот так вот. И вот так вот. Сейчас продаем снаряды. Старые. И несемся, несемся, несемся. Йоу-йоу-йоу. Все, теперь чиназис будет. 56 тысяч, что такое? На час. Бля, ну сосок рублевый, пиздец. Я вахаю. Самое главное, что с шестерочками. Мы крутим, вертим. И это пока что самое главное. Три секундочки, кадешечка.
Починається.
Какой он медленный. Ужас. Блядь, что за прикол ставить года, блядь, в никах? Это ж ёбнешься. 57, Валера. Ты шо, Валерчик, алло, тебе внуков нянчить сидеть, блядь, по утрам. По вечерам. Сегодня шо, воскресенье? Братик. Иди телевизор, пока все спят дома, там все новости, там вот эта вся хуйня в танке типа играет 57-го года. Шо, ёбнутый? Я в ахуе. Серега, боец 98 2014, понял. Хорошо, хорошо. Да ж. Бля, ну пока на позицию доедешь, конечно. Такое себе, такое себе. Сейчас. Оп. Сова, сова. По 9, нормально. Бьет совишечка. А ну. Тай. Понял. Разлетаемся мы. А ты куда? Братик, квадратик. Блять, ну тупо нереально доехать куда-то впереди. Это просто пиздец. Эти, сука, бои. Давай по одного и второго забираешь и все. Понял, забрал. Надо, блять, ну это ужас. Хотя бы сколько? Хотя бы. Вот. Сейчас выезжаю, танкую всю эту порнуху. И все. Нет, понял. КВ, что там? Поднимается наверх, малой. Тоже вовремя брат приехал. Все, сейчас тебе напихаю, дурачку.
Броню
А,
накрили.
понял.
Пробиття.
Понял, понял. -1. Ну и все. 170 урончика. Пока приехали. Нормально, нормально. Отдыхаем, отдыхаем. Ездим по танкам. Туда-сюда. Тому подобное. Мне интересно, есть типы, которые играют на стрелках? Йоу. Несется, несется. Может хоть на захват стать. Получить больше опыта. О. От этого еще может быть успеем что-то кинуть. Да, успел. Успел, нормально успел. Охуенно. Пиздец. Ох и помоище. Я в ахуе. Тут. Перемога, перемога. Йоу. Три. 10. А у меня даже максимальный двигатель. Тяжко, тяжко. Опять. Опять. Йоу, полетим вот сюда. Воду, воду, воду.
До бою.
Блядь, ну как же ж он едет долго, это ужас. 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 На,
Броню пробито.
получай. Пизда на чай. На,
Є пробиття.
ты тоже еще раз повони.
Знищено.
А как он отступаем? Это что, больной? Ага, понял, вниз надо. Дрифтуем, дрифтуем мы. Давай, давай, выезжай, выезжай, выезжай.
Пробили броню. Пробиття.
Выезжай, добивай меня. Ага. Ага.
Не пробив.
Конечно, не пробив.
Ціль знищено.
Легенда. Андрюха легенда. Ой-ой-ой-ой-ой. Надо светить маленького.
Траки пошкоджені.
Понял. Понял, братан. Пока.
Знищено.
Ай, хороший танк, конечно.
Гусениця пошкоджено. Рух неможливий. Гусениця розірвана. Полагодили траки, можна їхати.
Давай, брат. Веди нас всех вперед. Можешь видеть. Понял. Понял.
Зіскочила. Стоїмо. Траки полагодили. Полагодили траки. Можна їхати.
Блядь, ну тут я не выйду. Ой. О. Ладно, поеду. Вокруг. Что ли? Или ладно. Тяжело, блядь. Тяжело, нахуй.
Пробили.
Опасно. Опасно. Хорошо. Хорошо. Пизда вам, лохи. Отвечаю. До свидания.
Влучили. Пробиття.
Хорошо. Да-да-да. Да-да-да-да-да-да-да-да. Братан, да. Да. Сука!
Танк знищено.
А! Боком просто. Сейчас пушку апну. А нет, вот он. Маленький. 300 влетело маленькому. Ой-ой-ой-ой-ой. Десять тысяч сюда зас. Хотя... На это я, наверное, останусь. Вдруг чего на голде можно пострелять. Больше КД, а лучше вот это буду укачивать. Правильно, правильно. Восьмерочки. Понял. Ой.
І починається.
О, нет. Не туда, поеду туда. Бо я не доеду. До позиции, а туда доеду.
That is a very unusual pick, but you know, what about starting off at the finals with a something spicy?
На мостике сейчас будем разваливать.
Hitting a lot more tanks. I think that was 7. The grab
Еременко, братан.
available for the team of Cashback, and on the other side, Mafia not really that much, as the double bat shot of Conrad and Kono is going to transfer over into the middle. Liberty with that Tesak in the middle as well. Doesn't really get any shots off, does get spotted in return, and right now YOLO considering driving up the hill, not doing it as of now.
Not doing it, he's stopping in the position because he can get crossfired by Little and squeezing. We see that position that Little is using, that's a new one. That wasn't really used that much before. I mean,
Ой, как раз с правой стороны стану. Закроюсь.
often whatsoever. And now the strike being taken on 1-2 line by Mafia. But neither team here really... Oof, Orchek not really paying attention. Aka gets a shot.
О, вау.
It's 1.3, but does make it on the hill.
Вау. Куда пробил?
But I think that
Не, все, понял, извиняюсь.
for that as well, down towards 1.
Извиняюсь.
Baby in the Briskovitsa gets sent towards the middle currently.
Сука, ну с восьмерочками, блять, ну.
Big shot by Baby in towards Marcel to start off the brawl though.
Start of the brawl as now the PZs are climbing the hill. Actually, I don't think they want to brawl, Kihan. I think they just want to take the hill and secure it with more numbers. But Orchek seems to be tracked completely, sliding down now, survives, but the Tesak picks it up. Marcel now driving down, but I said lording from above. Aka coming in as well, and Baby from the front with the
Наигрался я сегодня.
on 37 HP. Cashback in the beginning of the game, pull a number on the double BZ, the ram kill as well from Aka, and now the closing on the 2-line even with the bat shot 25 Ts, and there is not much that can be done here for the side of Mafia. I mean, they're committing on towards Little, which is the correct play. They're trying really hard though from Cashback to already close out this game. It's maybe a little bit too much too soon at this moment in time. As Squeezy will make it out. No, he won't actually make it out. Oh, he will, because Conrad misses, but Baby Liberty now crossing over. They're making this...
Андрей Санстрайк, блять. Ой, молчи.
Two more shots make that one as Conrad goes down towards a 2-shot as well.
Арин, блять.
Towards one shot, but as Barkis is
Ну нереально тут, типа, ну пиздец.
with the ram kill
Ну это понял, это элиты стоят, ебать, тут, и я пытаюсь с ними что-то пободаться.
back here. Conrad
Вот так вот.
nothing.
А 150 я понял.
Barbarian simply having too much HP, and yes, Profuse is still very healthy, and YOLO has the hill, but what does it mean at that point in time? Well, essentially nothing, because Cashback have been able to close the gap once again.
Ну-ка.
from the
Ну,
donut
типа,
area.
блядь, тут нехуй что думать было.
Now Profuse is just going to
Нехуй что было думать, думать.
Looking at it, I mean, it's only Profuse and
К
Yoga.
сожалению, день рождения.
Both teams kind of evenly matched, but that push on the hill key, double PC, or attempting, that was...
Тут нихуя.
They lost so much for that.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you. Like, yes, there was some
Да, он самый, блядь.
liberty, but in the end,
Не, ну тяжело, тяжело. Элиты, блядь.
cross onto the hill,
Без пати.
be overcome.
Убить нереально.
Barbarian with a little somersault. He is going to celebrate the first point on the
Понял.
Cashback starting off the best of the 13 here.
Ква.
This is only the first step in a mountain to climb.
Yeah, I mean, we said it already, this is going to be a long match. We're in this first round, as much as it's good to start off the line,
Можна рушати.
because
Что ты?
you want to win that first battle, it's also
Ага.
Траки пошкоджені.
to lose it.
На одном компьютере, да? Типа я стреляю, а этот ездит.
And a match that is going to be this long, it's okay. You can get away with
It's okay. It's okay.
Yes, we do see the damage numbers coming in, and Orzek that was trying to drive on towards the hill, really not having the strongest of showing because he was the one getting focused. I mean, he even did a shot into the cupola early
Ой.
before the fight even started.
Что там, как дела, рассказывай.
Yeah, the Briskovitsa at that kind of distance, it will do almost its full alpha damage of 800. So, not having the best of games, and Liberty with that a little pesky, annoying Tessuck, able to even get 2 kills. Like, yes, obviously the light tanks will not, most likely, not end up top on damage, but he was really able to get those pickups that mattered. I think it was even Liberty killing Orzek there at the start, and obviously those initial kills, those first bloods, they are so crucial because from there on,
He even picked up a kill with it this time.
Сука, эти, блядь, танки.
Yeah, well, initially when the BZ going up, so pretty nice from that
Бах. Домой.
player being Liberty. I mean, it's not
Пантерка, что там?
the highest amount.
Stay home. Коронавирус нет, понял.
yeah, and especially
Ой, сейчас в сраку можно напихать.
to the light.
Напихал.
Of course, we sometimes see high damage numbers on winning, on losing teams, and you're like, oh wow, the dude did a lot of damage, but some of them
Это тоже сейчас Шварценеггер, блядь, попиздует в ангар на новый бой, блядь.
at that point, right? But the initial damage and the initial kills, those are really the deciding factors of each round, and Liberty once again able to have an impact.
Хорошо, хорошо.
I mean, maybe with 6,000, right? He was basically adopted on towards the roster of Cashback as, I guess, damage dealer, and he's also starting to perform that role.
I mean,
Бам. Понял.
expect him to do W, and if he wasn't, he would have never made it to Cashback here. So now he's playing the finals though. So I don't know if this is like the final decision from them, but they were rotating a lot.
I mean, they were trying out things, and to be honest,
Поразка.
yes, they didn't go,
Понял.
go to China.
Мы с пацанами тут.
left them with more
Главное первый, я первый. И все. Остальное мне похую.
better, and also, as we said, integrate Got You Baby as a damage dealer in your team. Because there's obviously a little bit of a language barrier for him, but as of right now, I mean, if you click, bim bam, tuk tuk, tiki taka, do the damage, then he seems to be, you know, integrated well. It's working, but obviously we only saw one round here now against Mafia. That being said, I think
О, вот это уже другой базар.
to be headed in towards round number 2, where
О, еще и
Cashback
карта такая
steadily
прикольная.
lead, and doing so with Liberty switching to the RHM. Then we have
Еще и карта прикольная.
a 2
Ой.
double BZ75 and the 50B.
Triple Batchat, TP coming back, T100 and the double BZ for Mafia.
Тут можно нагибать.
Again, some differences here that Cashback is a lot heavier, right? With a more brawling orientated lineup.
Yeah, Cashback a lot heavier. Mafia, they do have those nimble autoloaders, and those obviously can completely snowball out of control. That being said, both of us, I think, not the biggest fans of the TVP as a whole, but some of those players have been able to make it work beautifully. So let's see how it
Нагибаем, нагибать. Можно нагибать.
are driving towards the ramp here. Are they going to commit is the question. They do see each other, and Liberty actually does miss the shot here against YOLO, who now go up. He sees that in the one.
1110 хп.
He's able to shoot at him, but he does take one. I got you, baby. Here, make that a second, as the 50B has apparently already spent its entire clip. Now starting to join up with the rest of the forces on the 1-2.
Yeah, but look, YOLO again takes the hill, but at what cost? The double Batchat is flanking from behind, and Aka will
Критична шкода.
when he starts getting clipped out by them.
Понял.
There's
Понял. Дайте мне проехать.
Aka now realizing
Братан, я тебя сейчас обоссу просто. Так страшно,
probably
что ты охуеешь.
his position to watch out for those. But how does Cashback
Давай, пободаемся, давай.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a problematic position right now for Cashback, because Liberty is also stuck basically behind this.
Давай, братан.
Shot by YOLO as well, so there is multiple angles
Как дела?
looking on
Всё?
towards him.
Наигрался, блядь.
He is now going to capture
Я-то плюшку могу получить, а вот тебе
full info
тяжеловато, да, плюшку получить от меня?
for the time being. However, as it fades, the triple batch.
То, что там он лазит, блядь, его тоже разберут быстренько.
They really want to catch this RHM Panzerwagen of Liberty, but he's trying to book it out of there, taking another one.
Давай, давай, вылазь.
Does get
Вылазь.
and the full rotation has been seen by Cashback. How do they react to it is the question, because Aka is now out in the open and ripe for the taking.
Давай, ладно, поедем сюда.
Is also in a position where he could counter these bad shots. I mean, he's keeping them perma spotted as well. I don't think it's as easy as you're making it sound to pick up Aka.
Зарентгенить надо.
Keeping them spotted in a lot of tanks, including Aka being ready to
Oh, there's the
retaliate.
plane though.
Ooh, the plane on Little is a good one. Now Conrad and Orchak realize what's happening, but in return though, I said and Baby, this time around, he had, last time there was a Centurion AX from the side in A4. They realized that this time maybe it's good to clear it, and they do actually find that TVP. Marcel had nothing to do against the double push from the two guys from Cashback, and now Little starting to peek out, trying to get the shots out on towards Orchak, on towards Conrad.
Ладно, заканчивать.
Getting shot from behind as well. I think he will just about get his full clip out. He is on reload now, so is Orchak. Little falling, Aka falling. He was
Упоримся, упоримся.
Mafia with the top.
Давай.
Now have a lot of positions to close out this game.
Yeah, indeed, and now Iset and probably Baby with that 50B as well are trying to come into the fray as well, but
Да постои, постой, 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 братан. Блядь, больно, 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 сука. Ай. Блядь, ну ладно. Упоролись, даю, упоролись. И хуй с ним, блядь.
But still Mafia have 6 tanks up and available. Slight HP advantage still for the team of Cashback. But finally, Squeezy has arrived on the hill. He is going to make the life of YOLO so much more difficult, but that one has called in support as well. Barkis has arrived.
Barkis is going to be cleaning up Squeezy together with YOLO on top of the hill, and that is good. I mean, yeah, no, Squeezy's in a lot of trouble. I thought for a second maybe the 277 could bring some support from behind, but it's going to be Barbarian actually that's going to be coming with the Force B, as I said, is getting pushed on. If he can get one more shot against Conrad, Liberty has taken the strike. He had, oh, the ram as well, the shot, the kill. I said finds it. Kono now on reload. Hold up, wait a minute. It's not going that well as we would think here. Liberty now shutting down from 1-2 line as well. Bark is getting tracked numerous times in that BZ. Is not potentially going to find the shot either against Squeezy. He does make him a one shot, but now it's playable for Cashback.
It is actually playable, and look.
Так.
Not on in one shot for the T100 either, obviously unflippable for the Badger, but Kono now trying to bring himself into the fray as Liberty finds the first shot in towards YOLO here. The strike coming down, it should be enough to kill the T100, but Ozek with that Badger should be able to give chase the first shot.
Ай-яй-яй-яй-яй.
Liberty doesn't make it around.
Ай-яй-яй-яй-яй.
Find ourselves in a 2 versus 2.
Playable for either side. Kono behind the hill though, it will be very important because he wants to take that strike. He wants to find it, and Squeezy knows that he wants to. Barbarian might just push into Kono though. I don't know if Kono going through the strike there was the best of ideas he could have ever had, because now he gives away what's happening. Barbarian is going to be in his way. I thought Barbarian for sure was going to go around the hill. He had.
Перемога.
But
У нас сегодня перемога.
trying to make it on towards the hill as well, so that should mean in theory that Kono with that HP advantage that he has should be entirely able to kill Squeeze.
Хорошо.
Barbarian is capturing a strike on the other side as well as we speak, but Kono now, first shot actually does bounce here, but the second one surely will make it into the tank, and there we go. Barbarian finds himself in the 1 versus 2.
I don't know if I like the decision making there from Barbarian. I thought when the strike was being hit around the hill, he would push back around the hill to clear that angle. But it makes sense that he wanted to protect the 1-2 line strike as well. He's now
Бам.
but it's not going to happen.
Бам. Да куда ты на ходу стреляешь? Стреляй.
It's looking like equalizing potential.
У тебя хп пиздец.
Yeah, it does indeed look like it.
Плохо такое делать.
We just remind ourselves quickly about the rules here. If the time does run out, the team with more tanks alive is the one to take the round, and now Kono is once again going to take the or attempt to take the information tower. The artillery strike by Barbarian does get used, but now Ozek and Kono are taking both as well here. So Barbarian now knows where both of the
Все неплохо. М6 нормально.
assumes that he has hit Kono with the
06. 30 тысяч.
as
30
well.
тысяч.
So
30
good
тысяч.
shot in towards Barbarian. That was I don't think it was out of render, but it was a crazy long snipe to make.
Now, what does Barbarian have going for him here, outside of control over one strike?
I mean, he's going to go for the info tower as
Йоу.
that is only going to give more possibilities towards the
Семерочками. Ну еще
yeah, that still should have at least
можно потягаться.
those bad shots.
Попробовать.
Down Barbarian down towards less than 800, but now is starting to heal up, so it's a possible 3-shot now for the bad shots. As actually the heal does quite a bit more, is now a possible 4-shot even.
Yeah, but look at Orchek's position. I mean, Barbarian is 100% going to take a shot from him, and Kono is going to peek. There's one, there's the second, and the third one will come out as well. It's going to be Orchek to pick it up. Good clean finish there from Mafia, not letting him get down to airstrikes, just shutting down the game and finding their first round on the board from this cliff. Good showing from both teams.
Yeah, good showing from both teams.
Спасибо, брат. Спасибо. Вообще лучший.
Just find the kills on towards the RHM and then obviously not making any mistakes because against the full loaded Flush that can obviously be very costly. So Mafia are able to equalize the scoreline. This means effectively Cliff does get split a 1-1. Let's take a look at the post.
Тупо лучший типчик, ебать, вообще дал жизни.
And we will find that Kono.
Юра, 25.02.20, 22222. Это, блядь, что, нахуй, телефон, блядь, его?
Not just him though, Bark is also at 5k and the PZ is pretty impressive for a tank that has no DPM.
So obviously Profuse not really finding the biggest of impacts with his BZ.
Бабах.
On the other
Нет?
hand, we see that Aka seems
Не бабах.
similar problems. Liberty not really with the biggest of impacts. He did pick the damage light, but you know, he was kind of running around the map trying to avoid bat shots for the longest time. So actually it is quite impressive that he still managed to somehow get 1.7.
Ой-ой-ой, братан, куда ты упарываешься?
Name of the game.
Тут же ж я еду.
The MVP in the battle, at least for this round, should be going towards Kono, who was also able to really, together with Ozek, teaming up, double team against Barbarian and get the point on the board. This means that after Cliff, which was kind of slower than I expected, we are now going to Pilsen.
Pilsen? I'm curious what kind of style we're going to get between these two, because if you can play... Pilsen is always the question about, like, does somebody play for the defense, does somebody play for the field, or do they both challenge the camp? Because both are possible. It's really, like, nowadays I find that we see a lot of camp plays. Middle pressure that we see
Ай-яй-яй.
not that common anymore, though.
Взял, тупо получил плюху. Ну, дурачок.
To be honest, every time we saw it, it worked out pretty well. I mean, fairly recently, obviously, the strike on the coalfield was introduced as well. That makes cap plays a little bit less viable, but we have still seen them working. So now it becomes the question, how is either team going to approach it? Because I think one of the most awkward interactions that you can have is actually when both teams try to somehow execute a cap play and then they meet up with like fairly fast tanks but fairly low DPM, and then they start shooting each other, but really not a lot of tanks drop until the rest of the team actually does start joining the fray.
Ой-ой-ой.
I think we no longer see really aggressive mid plays. That was meta for a while, to push really heavy down the middle.
I think a lot of teams now know how to play against it, so I guess
1-6.
kind of working in sprints, like when the teams were training it.
Вот, вот так вот буду играть.
I guess that is why we don't see it as much during the actual tournament streams either. But that is just an assumption I have.
Ой, блядь.
Numbers to back it
Ну-ка.
up. You know, it's the most sensible explanation I can come up with, actually.
Как обычно, нахуй.
I was just curious about your opinion
Ёх.
on the matter, to why
Да вот же ж, добей.
they currently are. Lineup wise though, Mafia still switching a little bit. Double
Ты полчаса сводился на него, блядь.
RHM to round it off.
And for cashback, we do have 1e4, 1e3, 1e4, a push via Batchat, and double 277. That actually looks like both teams could consider going for the cap here. That double 277 normally kind of indicates that you want to play close to walls or even in the cap. And like E3, E4, B4, those tanks also really want to go to the brawl, and how else to force a brawl than by, you know, sounding that cap siren, as we see Aka, Squeezy and Barbarian driving back, avoiding a possible spot by YOLO that indeed misses all the three of them, so only 4 tanks spotted out currently from Mafia.
Nice set going towards the strike in the middle of 277 will make it without punishment. Marcelo's going to be challenging him there, but I said will make it first. Of course, I think the RHM from YOLO should always get a decap there. So the strike should actually be in favor of Mafia.
Indeed, the strike will get taken by Marcel, and I said they're taking the second shot by YOLO. I think good marksmanship from the outside in that RHM coming in, as Marcel ends up getting the strike, and Conrad is even taking the secondary one on the coal field as well. This is why Cashback is now sending one of their V4s, I think that's Liberty, in towards the western strike. He is going to collect that, but obviously they are playing 2v1 right now in the strike department. Almost a nuke is what they're accumulating there currently, as Kono and Conrad in those batchets starting to push the field, and they do have the info as well on who is there, and that looks right.
Бедный бой, понял.
Out of there, and the 277 remaining. That one doesn't really have a lot of DPM to punish the bad shots with, and now it seems like Aka might be getting caught out in the open here, as he does take one, make that two. The bad shot may be able to get a third one. Nope, swinging up Barbarian, but missing is Kono, and meanwhile the cap has started.
Kono letting off a few more shots, gets another one on towards Aka. He has one remaining onto Barbarian as well, who takes 1k, 1.3k running away just about.
Долго будет, блядь, эти, сука,
But there's so many strikes
хуярятся.
of Mafia that I don't see how they would ever end up capping this one out. Now Squeezy will rejoin the cap. Little, I think, making his way over there as well. One more strike, I think, available for the side of Mafia to get a recent.
Lol. Понятно.
For as long as I can remember, he has been running away. Now they're starting to peek on towards the right side, who's trying to block Orchek actually from decapping, but Orchek just makes it in. So now they're forced to peek out. The strike coming out as well. Good focus fire there on towards Marcel, who takes a strike as well. Little now with the E4 could finish. Aka falling in that 277. It seems like he could not run away far enough, but Mafia have everything.
5 семерочки.
One kill for either team. I said surrounded in the middle as well. He will be going down, and then the double bat shot even on the flank. Barbarian trying to commit, everybody committing even towards it. The breakout push, but they're not going to be breaking anything except for their own backs as Istead falls. The hopes from Cashback fall with it that they're going to be picking up this round. I mean, they're going for corner, they're going for the bat, but they're losing so much in the process.
Yes, indeed, Kono does end up falling, but Squeezy gets picked up by YOLO in a return, and now only 3 players by Cashback remaining alive here, with Twilight getting picked up possibly now by Conrad as he does. So only Little and Liberty here to fight a very strong looking team of Mafia right now, and Bark is now fully loaded as well in that 4-speed. He's not going to have any trouble with that E4 to speak of. Liberty in the background as well, getting swarmed by a plethora of Mafia tanks. So Mafia are going to turn it around after being down 1-0. Now the score is 2-1 in their favor.
Good stuff there from Mafia. I mean, they found the perfect timing on the field, right? If you look at it, they found actually the best timing you could find. They see the 277 run away. He takes a decent amount of damage, but more impactful even is damage Barbarian took like 1.5 minutes before he got this Motherboard. It's also positions you need, right? Depending on how you take like health control. Where's Istead was one right now?
Yeah, not really. I think
Блять. Хорошо, хорошо. Давай, брат. Давай.
340, maybe the shooting could have been a little bit more ideal, but I think even with that, it wouldn't have mattered.
Да.
Because, like, even though
Хорошо.
it would not have been
Блять, я опять один, ну ёбаный в рот.
to sway the battle in their favor.
Ну это пиздец какой-то.
Conrad and Kono in that bad shots. I mean, they were getting some free shots as well. 5k, 4.4k. Good stuff by them, actually. Very good stuff by them. Bad shots popping off, doing exactly what you expect. In return, yeah, I said Naka there. Can we repeat that we're not fan of 277s?
I mean, I believe I've said it once or twice already, but you know, third time's the charm. And yeah, once again, those 277s. I mean, there's always a reason why the teams pick those tanks, obviously, but most of the time the opposing team then is able to play around it because realistically the 277 is able to buff its own DPM and gun handling a little bit, but that's kind of it, right? The DPM is not great to start with, so it doesn't get like, good on the gun handling isn't great to start with, so it gets like acceptable maybe, considering as well that we have onslaught modifiers on, so most of the people probably are not going to be running dot steps.
I think the biggest issue with the 277 right here is
Жило, блядь.
like the ability that it has is not very powerful.
А я-то этот спрятал.
Alright, this leaves us with a
Опа.
2-1 for Mafia, but obviously we are far
Ой-ой-ой, как опасно.
best of 13, and we have another round of Studianti remaining, first of Pilsen remaining, I'm sorry, before anything else is gonna happen. So yeah, let's see what the next one is going to bring. From cashback, we now need to see some kind of
Сука.
I think, because like first round, yeah, pretty good, they won it all right, but then things started crumbling a little bit for them.
What do you think sparked this move away from the field? Because usually you see teams hold it until the bitter end, and they were like running away, but they didn't have a follow-up for it.
I think they were trying to do this gap move, cashback that is, and then they were like, alright, we don't really need the field positions for that anymore.
Ой, блядь.
Things and form up with
Долбоёбы ёбаные, ну это пиздец, ну тупо черти галимые, сука.
Mafia actually comes close, then we, you know, roll over them like a ball of death. But the fact that the rotation on the field by Mafia came in so early and the Badgers were able to get those initial clips already on the tanks, obviously was kind of a disaster to start off with.
Пиздец.
Speaking of starting,
Yeah,
I think
Wache.
point number 4 is going to be doing just that as Cashback now on the back foot, trying to equalize the scoreline. Squeezy coming in with the bat chat here. Liberty is taking the Inspire medium. Actually, that means that Baby did get dropped from the roster for the time being. Barbarian with the Forshby, double V4 and double E4 as well.
Mafia in return, Bacha 25T, Forge-B, Quad 268 V4, and an E4 to round it off. So neither of the two teams here going with Lian, just good old-fashioned 7-on-7 tank brawl in action at some point potentially. Where you can see Mafia send on the Quad V4 straight towards the 3 line, and in return he had cashback, kind of similar.
Пиздец, сказал отец.
Though I think in this kind of matchup, I would prefer the more straightforward approach that Mafia have employed. But yeah, let's see what those players.
Да стреляй в него, блядь, без остановки.
What has happened now? Triple cap does get employed, and Kona and Profuse also taking the strikes here. Aka already bearing the.
Какая разница уже, блядь. Набей дэмэджа и всё.
With the outside strike, will be able to wreak havoc against the tanks.
Бам,
From
нахуй.
Cashback that are now starting to come in through the upper side as well. The Fosh B and the E4 of Twilight coming in. Marcel taking a huge chunk of damage. They're not really going to be able to cap, but they do have those strikes.
They have that double strike right now. They have positions as well, and they have the cap. 14 seconds. Pay attention to it. Nobody on this team has a strike from the side of Cashback. No mini strikes, no big strikes, nothing. 8 seconds, 7
Стой ему,
seconds.
блядь.
To be ISET committed forward. Profuse is holding.
Ну и стой нахуй.
And they know that ISET is forced to hold this. He cannot do anything but stay on that cap. Little now peeking from behind, trying to get a decap. He will not be able to do it. That's the big strike coming out on towards those tanks. 400, another one hitting home as well. Now ISET getting pushed. 1-2 line getting pressured as well. They know that
Ой,
ISET
блядь.
is surrounded in the 268 V4. He
Давай
collapsed
добить
down
надо,
behind
сука.
that hold on. He had to decap, and the fight slows down a little bit. The Forge B of Barbarian, I think, is now re-pushing on towards his Profuse's position with this NTX as well. So Cashback has something to play from here. As I said, will get into safety. Can Mafia hold on with Profuse? Because he's dropping rather low, but not that low at the same time. There's 2 more shots needed to pick him up. Liberty puts him down towards the 1 shot. Now needs to look for the finish, but he will not be able to do that, as you can see in the bottom left corner. Orchek coming around, body blocking, even keeping Profuse alive for a little bit longer. Barbarian peeking with the
Хорош.
shot. He wants to keep Liberty alive as well. Aka now coming in as well with his V4 picks up Conrad.
Ха, сука.
First kill of this game, Kihan.
Indeed, but it doesn't stop here as Kono from the outside has an almost fully loaded Batchet. Aka in the V4 drops. In the meantime, though, as
Днепр 4308. Вот это типчик.
on the receiving
Наш.
end of that one currently
Наш
heating
типчик.
up a little bit, but against the 750 Alpha
А ну, блядь.
for example,
Косарик.
doesn't really help. Bark is getting
Пиздец.
picked up by Twilight, however, Marcel now needs to convert this kill as Profuse gets picked up now as two, like the Mafia tanks, they're just crumbling, but finally YOLO, Marcel and Ozek with the triple kill to almost equalize the numbers. Ozek though down towards 1 shot, this one's down to the wire.
I said in that 264 that was
Ну, тут уже.
yet still alive
О,
now.
тут уже Джиназис.
Ability, so he will not die in 1 shot. He wants
Тоже, блядь, пока по позицию приедешь, ну, ёбнешься, блядь, головой нахуй.
off, but Kono will not.
Тупо ёбнешься головой.
I said
Головой, 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 головой.
Marcel will get 1 more shot against Squeezy as the little returns there. The shot now gives a shot as well. Now we can see Squeezy sneak onto the strike, and it's not over just yet, Kihan. It's not
It
over.
is indeed far from over, actually, because the E4 of Ozek is in 1 strike range. Even if Ozek has full charge, which he does on his ability, I think the strike still does 280 damage, and that is more than enough. And indeed, the strike now gets picked up. Also, not really a 1-shot currently in his E4. Same can be said for Squeezy, albeit the E4 could load HE. But all of them are obviously in 1 clip range for the Batchat of Kono. That is a 1-shot himself for little.
I mean, Squeezy could also kill Kono in the 1-on-1. He's
У меня же есть.
2-shot.
Ой,
Depends
блин,
on spots out Kono.
Братик.
This is the shot, though. Kono's gonna
Рэл, Рэл.
Squeezy now drops towards the 1-shot for those
Чиназис.
shooting there from Kono, and now Little getting pressured by YOLO
Ой, самый топовый Red Bull, конечно.
as well. Squeezy now playing ring.
Плечо-плеч, погнали.
Kono, does he seem aware of this? That's a good question.
Сейчас напихать надо лохам.
Turning around once more, knows that YOLO is coming from behind him. Does he get around the corner on time? Seems to be fine, but he has Kono pressuring him from the other angle. And Marco
Надо напихать лохам, надо напихать лохам, лапихать лохам.
That's a good question.
Well, let's see. He currently seems to be aiming, so I think they're kind of predicting by
Братан, я еду.
turning around. He wants to go for that E4, that in the
Потерпи секунду.
well, it is a game of chicken, but now Little in the E4 finds the shot here. Squeezy with the pickup.
Конечно, ебать вас тут пиздец.
And still Squeezy held on towards that strike.
So as a strike, they just need to find Orchek now. Little will get pushed by YOLO in the meantime. I think Little knows that this is coming as well. He spots out YOLO. YOLO finds the kill now. Squeezy left in an impossible situation.
Файний постріл.
He is running away from 1-2 line. He does seem to have no noise as he's not getting spotted by the 268 before he knows.
Блядь, давай нормально стреляй.
What else he could do, Kihan, is he could disengage towards the field.
Робили броню.
Yeah, indeed. Look at YOLO. He doesn't have a commander, so this is why Squeezy didn't
Ну, вылазьте, вылазьте, вылазьте.
something like Fuel.
Что вы там дрочите?
At the start of the game, but now without a commander, without a driver, this is obviously hugely problematic. Now Squeezy, he does still have enough HP to take the informational tower and then also take a secondary strike. Does he opt to go for it? Because obviously YOLO has a strike of his own. He could make YOLO
Вылазим, пацанчики, вылазим.
well trade though, because realistically Squeezy is a one-shot anyway.
Well, Squeezy, I don't think will be dodging that one. He's not able to dodge it. And Orchek is coming, Kihan.
Сука, сука.
He bails out from it because he knows that the E4 from Orchek could be
Того добить и можно сюда упарываться.
decap him.
Кто меня вообще попал?
The factory though, because Squeezy here
Вот этот хуй попал, да, получается?
apparently.
Well, he is picking up another one, and he knows he can do so for free. Because YOLO just used the strike from the western part onto the map on himself, and you can see how slow YOLO is in that V4. And
No
obviously
driver
the view range.
and no commander.
Yeah,
so
no,
that
no.
means no Jack and no mentor.
Ця командира зачепила.
jack of all trades still. Mentor is
Блять, как вы пробиваете меня?
one way you give
О, нихуя себе.
commander.
Also, this doesn't exist anymore. It's mental, like I said.
Mentor? Alright.
Ой, блядь.
Now the dice mentor is not.
Чё они, как они пробивали, блядь, ББшками нахуй?
Going to be
Надо
blind.
посмотреть куда.
He is also
Oh,
got
no.
a fighter that essentially doesn't really do anything as a Squeezy is now hovering here and he does use the strike. Someone leaves the cap here, so does it connect actually? No, it doesn't. And now the problem for Squeezy is he is strikeless as other people are maidenless and YOLO is picking up yet another of those. So as soon as Squeezy picks up one additional thing, then he's gonna get striked and then he will
Ага.
And Squeezy does spot out YOLO. He spots out Orchek as well, and Orchek with the shot.
Сосок ебучий.
Something to do there for Squeezy.
Ой, блядь, ёбаный в рот.
Wrong side of the strike, but wouldn't matter.
Это пиздец.
The strike would still be taken by Mafia. He really needed to find Orchek somehow.
Ёбаный в рот.
kills and after that he's a bad shot basically playing against, you know, a TD. But it wasn't to be and this means that Mafia
Ай, блядь, ёбаный в рот.
third point and for cashback I mean the start into the match was okay by picking up one round, but since then it has been Mafia's you know, Mafia's match all the way this far. 3 rounds back to back to back and slowly but surely
Ух ты, ёб твою мать.
make an adjustment to how they're playing.
Такс.
I mean, in fact, Cashback came back and this was already.
Ждем тачку с боя.
Honestly, after the initial opening, Mafia had the cap, Mafia had the strikes. Was there something that Mafia didn't have?
Yep. As we do see Ozek and YOLO. YOLO there, keep in mind.
Йорло.
Dead commander and dead driver for probably the longest time in the battle, but still he's able to get those 4 kills, and that's probably why his damage is a little bit on the lower side behind Orzek, because probably a lot of his alpha did go in towards securing kills. But yeah, on the other side, ISET not really having the best of times either. Once again, I think ISET on the bottom of the scoreboard with not really the best of pen rates, to be honest. And yeah, Barbarian obviously not able to get the second clip loaded in that Foshby.
Well, Barbarian not on top, where we see him most of the time throughout this tournament, so that doesn't help. But yeah, Mafia closes it out. Good team play there towards the end from them.
Тут тоже, блядь, ну ёб твою мать.
And we're going into Studzianki.
Рухливість. 20, блядь.
Well, Studzianki. I mean, we have seen the map today
Хорошо.
already quite a few times,
А у меня
but I don't think
25. Я вахаю.
of how
Это еще будет медленнее, эта хуйня. Ебать его в рот, это пиздец.
we really saw any
Ладно, пособираем эту хуйню всю.
that, like we saw, for example, yesterday during the semifinals, like there, a lot of the stuff was actually not
Перемога, блядь.
around the cap, which is what
Серьезно?
a lot. But instead on the other
Сейчас, блядь, пособираем скинтов, ебать.
there are going to be 2 rounds of Studzianki here, and that means hopefully
Так. Так.
What are we expecting from Studzianki? I don't think either of these Mafia's not known to play with a guy either, no?
Ну там уже двигун.
not really. That being said,
Двигун, блядь, будет дать.
on Cliff, for example, with the Tisak, I don't think it's like completely out there for them to try something
20 тысяч. Поехали.
kind of weird that we haven't seen before. You know, just keep those kind of strats for the final and then surprise the opponent with it.
Восьмерочки, понял.
You like the
Понял, пацаны, понял.
I actually think they're pretty
Поеду я
massive.
туда. Арта есть.
See what we're gonna get as we are about
Крусейдер,
to
Пантера, понял.
number
Нахуй
4
туда поеду.
in the grand finals
Бо
here.
заебет нахуй. Я ж, сука, супер быстрый. Що не нахуй.
Double bat, a Bliskavice, a Yakba.
То ну його нахуй.
So pretty straightforward lineup, I think, by both of the teams.
Yeah,
ob-
just don't know if I like the
obviously-
bats, like 3 bats. We saw Cashback against Dopa really struggle with that, if you remember, right? Against those TDs because they take so many shots to kill one.
I mean, yeah, let's see if they're
Поїхали, поїхали.
obviously be quite hard, but over time those batchets really develop an astonishing amount of firepower as the Tesak of Cashback is able to spot out 5 of the 7 tanks on the team of Mafia, so they're only really missing the double batchet. And Liberty does go a little bit beside the spotting tower, does not decide to go for taking it, as Conrad with 1 batchet already down in the ditch, taking one of those airstrikes.
In the meantime, the V4 is pushing through. The triple batchet is going to be clearing A-line though. Barbarian, Squeezy, Little shooting on the move, even finding Kono still running. Can they get some shots out from the side of Mafia? Some meaningful shots, because that triple batchet, look at them now turning in though, Kihan. They're a little bit confused. They're a little bit driving through the open. Not a fan of that movement from them. Marcel's going to be holding the backlines as well. Squeezy's going to be going for Kono to pick him up. Barkis already getting annoyed. Bite at the stack from Liberty. Aka now in between a rock and a hard place in that E4 is able to face the music coming from behind him though. Squeezy finds Kono, but Barbarian takes a big one for Marcel, drops him towards the one shot. The strike now coming out as well. One more shot should do it on towards Aka. Barkis doesn't even pop his ability because he knows that the stack wants to track him. Orchek puts it down, and now Mafia with a little bit of an HP lead. It's really costly for them to kill Aka.
It is indeed really costly for them. Barkis, though, also very low, could get picked up as Squeezy is on the long rotation with that batchet as well. Fully loaded at this point in time. Does get spotted out in the open. Probably has shots on towards Profuse as Baby picks up a big damaging hit against Orzek here, who drops down against 1700. And the Tessa, once again, Liberty, that little annoying tank. It hovers like a butterfly and it stings like a bee. Removes another tank from...
Давай, давай, вылазь потихонечку, по одному.
Now on to 4 tanks left from Mafia. They still have HP, but that push out of the factory was so costly for them altogether. It was really hard for them to kill Aka. They took a lot of damage for it as well. Conrad will now come over and pick up Barbarian, so at least something. Squeezy is clipping Marcel. Does get out of ability and then immediately taps Squeezy in the face, who's now getting peeked by Conrad, but Conrad is going to get picked up by the strike as Liberty shuts down another player on the side of
Объехать.
Mafia. Conrad
Вот то буде прикол, да?
to make that peak.
Проебали меня.
I don't think so.
Time will tell.
CDT.
Gets another pickup onto one of the V4s of Mafia, leaving only Marcel and
Засветил.
in the biggest
Хуясос.
ever, trying to still get any kind of kill, but Baby is actually...
Не, мне пизда, ебать.
Only Marcel remaining for Mafia and Cashback. They do some kind of adjustment. For the longest time, it looked pretty dicey what those batchets were actually doing, but little to pick it up, and Cashback closing the distance. It's going to be 2 to 3.
I really thought that was going to go better for Mafia, and then they started pushing out of the factory and it started really costing to kill Aka, and the stack was so annoying. Like, if I would be playing a TD, man, I would be
Нахуй сюда приехал сам. Алёша, сука.
annoying human in the stack.
And you know he's probably chuckling to himself.
Yeah, and he has like it's like hundreds of bullets as well, man. So like you can't even use your repair kit because you're like it is literally 1 HP. On the track, 0 HP, whatever, 1 I think on the track with Juggernaut ability. So any bullet of the Tesak is a track.
Бам. Хорош.
And he's sitting there like chuckling like, hey, gotcha. Anyway though, let's take a look at the damage numbers, and once again, not the biggest of damage here for the Tesak.
Все, ты без засвета.
That assist damage, I mean 1300, but the thing is, obviously a stat that you cannot really show is that the damage that is not being dealt because of those track shots. You can really lock down 1, 2 or even 3.
Хорош.
You take a lot of options for
Нехорош.
away from those tanks, and we even saw some of the tanks of Mafia actively deciding not to use the ability just to not fall victim to the track shots from the light tank.
Так.
He's there and they see him is enough, you know, like they're just not using the ability because of it. So
Yep.
that is causing them to not use it. Like Barkis was just simply not using it, but then of course you don't have the damage reduction either. So it's like a trade-off you make.
Так.
Yep.
Так.
And I I mean, here the trade-off, obviously, for the
Так.
Mafia ended up losing the round, even though I do agree with you. That push by the Batchats over the field,
Ходим.
it looked like the Batchats were going to be out of the game, actually, with the other TDs from Mafia collapsing on towards the cashback tanks that were close to the cap. But I guess in the end, they were able to get back in right at the point when it mattered. And cashback after 3 rounds for Mafia. Once again, pick up one here on Studzianki, but obviously
Studzianki.
not done. The sides are going to get switched, and we are going to load right back into it.
Do we expect Mafia or Cashback? I feel like Cashback is going to make it all even and then turn it into a good old best of 7.
Yeah. I mean, then all of this would have been just a preamble of the things to come. Let's see.
So far, though, Kian, who are we giving MVP if either of these two teams wins? I feel like we're giving it to Barbarian if they win.
Oof.
He had so
I
many
mean-
high damage games.
I mean, yeah. But at the same time, it's always kind of weird to give MVP to a player that is not really...
Ну, вот это будет у меня.
If they win, of course.
На торта. Черепаха. Морская черепашка по имени Наташка.
On the team of Mafia, I think it's just like a team effort for them at the moment.
Well, if you ask Phil X, he would say Kono.
Because he has highest DPG, or...
I don't know.
Oh.
That's what I'm assuming. I'm just reading Phil's mind, you know?
Anyway, though, we go into the next round of the Winter Invitational, and Cashback are looking for the equalizer. Liberty, once again, probably chuckling already, has locked the Tessak, and now we do have quadruple E4 Foshby,
Op.
and the Butter Chatillon 25 ton being played by Squeeze.
Mafia in return
Что?
bringing 4 Amino, a Yak Panzer, a
Да, блядь, мисклики ёбаные, блядь.
And again, in the light tanks altogether, they want to make another push.
Мисклики, мисклики.
But a lot of their tanks actually driving towards the back, trying to avoid a possible spot, but obviously we do know that Mafia don't have a light tank. So right now the Tessak of Cashback does get a little bit of info. It should also be noted that both teams are essentially starting with even HP, slight advantage there for Mafia, that are also bringing Batchat and Foshby here towards the A line, but it's being mirrored actually by the team of Cashback.
Both teams just feeling it out in the beginning. Nobody really going for the aggressive push. Barbarian is now in the push B. If you remember, there was a push B there before that had an unfortunate incident for the side of hit and run. So hopefully he's going to be a little bit more careful. Or check there in the Mino pushing up on the outside. Actually, Bark is starting to clip out on the back of Little. He does find some success. Little now forced to tuck behind that building, and the sack just being a little bit annoying. But in the beginning here, just trading it out a little bit, and I said even pushing the outside, might just want to start closing up a little bit with his teammates. I mean, he's going forward, he's even going towards the cap. There was a Batcha waiting for this move, and we said that he hasn't had the greatest of matches so far. Kihan takes another pretty significant amount of damage.
Indeed, YOLO there with the better end of the trade, as Kono is once again driving into the ditch with his Batchat, but this means now the push gets called by the tanks of Mafia, and once again a Foshby does a Houdini and completely vanishes on that A-line. Squeeze does get saved by Conrad down towards a one-shot as well, and now the repush coming in from Cashback. There is a strike, but it doesn't connect on the outside, so Squeezy is going to stay alive, and Isa does get cooked.
I said in that E4 committed a little bit too much forward. He wanted to go for the strike potentially as well, but it was Mafia to take it. He will give one more big shot on towards Kono. Somebody's going to pick him up. It's going to be YOLO with the V4, that lowest alpha out of the ones there to pick it up. There is still some potential for Mafia to play with, but Liberty already taking the strike. Aka getting bounced upon, and Barbarian has...
Полетели, спиздыки в теле. Полетели, полетели, полетели.
V4 puts him down now, looks at the Yak Panzer, picks up YOLO with the help of Liberty and the strike. Another one in front of him. If he can find the kill on that too, picks it up.
Вова Пахан 2016, бля, ебать ники я вахаю. Тут, конечно, ники ебанешься.
Find themselves equalizing on Sujanki. But Kihan, we saw another Forge B decide to I don't understand.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the motivation behind that is probably like you're sitting on 6 loaded shells and you really want to let loose. But yeah, Liberty even able to pick up the Minotauro kind of frontally as a little kills Kono. To equalize the scoreline, we find ourselves at a 3-3 in an extremely competitive Grand Finals for the Winter Invitational here. But yeah, once again, those Fosh Bs over the A-line on Studzianki, they are, I mean, if their goal is to vanish as quickly as possible and go back to the garage, then they're doing a great job, but I don't think that is the goal.
I mean,
It should be.
you'd hope so, to be honest. You'd hope that isn't the goal whatsoever, because they're doing a good job at it with those Forge Bs. Again, this burst out of the A-line with a Forge B starts the engagement. He
Пацаны, вы чего там?
get their target. It's like they
Сейчас я вам напихаю, блядь.
able to do it. And then I think there's also this thing where they get the strike from time to time, and they're so like
А, 5-1, блядь. Ну ёб твою мать.
wasting it as well.
Yeah. The strike didn't end up killing the Badger, and you can see Barker with that push B. He tried to initiate the fight here, but he only was able to get off 3 shots, and out of those, even only 2 did actually find the mark and deal damage. So yeah, those V4s also not with the best kind of trades here on the outside. Yeah, the combined efforts of Ozek, Kono, and Marcel obviously not enough to make up for those misplays on the A-line. And then I said, even though like he was a little bit caught out in the open, was still able to deal obviously 2 play. And if the tanks that are not playing as well on your team still are able to like at least a little bit pull their weight, then yeah, that obviously does help a huge amount. And at the end of the game, like
похуй.
rampage, kills left, right, click, click, easy.
I mean, that's Forge B coming in pretty strong, right?
So that is how you should use the Posh B. Anyway, that is Studzianki done and dusted. So we are going to go to one of the maps in this matchup that I've been looking forward to, Himmelsdorf.
We saw Mafia play it already, yeah? Against Hidden.
Больше сил.
And yesterday, actually, we did see Cashback play.
Yeah, just find it a really interesting map because you see so little of it. And we saw Modular utilize the method all that secret pathing, finding success. So I find it a very curious map where
Ёбки ёбаные, но это пиздец.
over time teams become more experienced and they start learning like, okay, this is potential, but on the map like this,
Я в ахуе, блядь, просто в ахуе, нахуй.
You may still get caught by
Сука, еще мышка села, нахуй.
yesterday.
О, хуя, блядь.
Basically did have Fosh B, and no, he didn't clip out. He was in a 277.
Это пиздец. 4000 танканул.
There's so many enemy tanks shooting at him. I think, yeah, yesterday, Cashback actually ended up splitting the map 1-1 against Dark. So let's see if they learn from that today.
Захватывайте, блядь, быстрее, нахуй.
Whenever you lose, obviously something went wrong. And then you have to look at that and basically have to make an adjustment. Otherwise, it would be like definition of insanity, doing the same thing again and expecting different outcomes. The fact that both teams have played this map on stream now also means that both teams will have access to
Ёбнися.
information as to how the opponent thinks the map plays out. But obviously, there is a
До
wide
свидания, лохи, сука.
that could get applied here. And Liberty this time around choosing to go with
Медальки должен получить, блядь, какие-то.
all of those 5 Batchets, perhaps with a reload initially, and ISAT is taking a tank that we also don't see often, the E100.
Mafia in return a lot more stamina. Batchat
Даже стальную стену не получил?
double E4. So no lighting in 60 makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest,
45,
this goes
10к. Да добьем сейчас.
two ways. Either the Batchet
Сейчас добьем, сейчас добьем.
and it looks easy for Cashback, or Mafia just shuts it down and it looks easy for Mafia. Let's see. how it is going to unfold though, as Marcel driving into
Ой,
the
бля.
map with that Center X. And actually we do see the split coming out. Cashback sending all batchats on the hill here. And this means that initially not a lot of information is actually going to be available for the team of Mafia that has also taken the first damage here, with Barkis, I think, taking a shot from that E4. Liberty now trying to evacuate with that M60, and that E100 looks mighty fine, mighty ripe for the taking, actually, for all of those Briskas that now make their way over Liberty with that M60. Is obviously not going to have the firepower to stop all of those Polish TDs as shells rain down from the hill. It is all the batchats opening up, but is it enough? I said already down towards 1100. I don't think he will be able to get out of this one.
YOLO comes in with the kill, doesn't have a driver, so that's
Так.
Kono's ammo rack.
Вот эта карта мне нравится.
The cooldowns there. Now you see the batchats
Маленькая, вдаленькая.
one by one. That's that added
Можно.
slope. You have to be careful when you're dropping down though, because
Ебать, что за флаг нахуй.
very easy to crash somebody else. Been there and done that by accident. So you gotta be careful when you're doing it. But they did find that kill though. And HP really is not that bad for them. They now take over 1-2 line. They evacuate the X, and gotta say, Mafia looks quite okay.
Yeah, indeed. Currently, the Batchat's not really finding a lot of value here. Yes, they were able to punish a lot of the Briskas that were driving towards the E100, but really, they had to spread the damage up over a lot of the Mafia tanks, so there aren't really any low HPs, and this means that Mafia here with the first kill...
Где нахуй?
To be honest, I'm not even sure that I agree.
А, вот ты, мразь.
Like, even if you put a mouse in the end, what ends up happening is kind of the same thing, you know, the tank just gets over pushed, and it doesn't matter if you're an E100 or a mouse or whatever.
Все,
You just
пока.
now Mafia
Наберешь,
obviously have the control over the strike close to the cap.
когда будет удобно.
With the Batchats now forming a line, but is it going to be a glorious charge to victory, or is it a bloody one back into the garage? The strike does reset the cap here, so that's not going to be an issue. The shots whizzing past, YOLO now being the first focus for those Batchats and those French autoloaders. Yes, the damage reduction is there for YOLO, but he ends up falling. But Cashback, they're bleeding for this as well, and Mafia are coming
Блять.
counter-rotation.
Mafia now bringing all of the guns. Park is already arriving. Kufu driving to the open as well. Kono and company arriving. The Batchat flanking on the outside as
Да,
well.
блядь, добей.
Something happened here, and you can see some small visual issues still.
Да,
But
сука.
starting to group up here. Baby takes a big one, 737 to the face, but yet at this moment in time, Cashback ahead in.
Это ужас.
They pick up the strike in the middle as well. That's Barbarian. Oh no, he didn't actually end up taking it. Now the rest of the guns are driving in, and there has to be some Mafia push here. Little crossing over, takes a lot of damage. Now Marcel still alive in that AX, but starting to get clipped out. Kono coming in with his Bliskavitz.
О, сука.
He's not Harry Potter, he's not invisible. He is getting shot at by the guns from Cashback, as now Aka falls, Squeezy falls as well. This evacuation, they're leaving the teammates left.
Домой, блядь.
Many of them don't even
Гусь.
make it out of the vicinity. The SOS, the helicopters, they need to come.
Indeed, and what you saw there, this is actually just a visual bug by the observer. The players are actually completely fine and unaffected. There is in Onslaught actually a gap there to drive.
Вылазь, вылазь, вылазь.
Still, there are 4 tanks remaining.
I'm waiting for you. I'm waiting for you.
Medium amongst them, but
I'm waiting, 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 waiting for you.
no one strikeable targets here at this point in time, but still HP advantage there for Cashback, and I think the fact that they have a lot of autoloaders makes up for the gun.
По 5.
As Barbarian now even considering to take the
А46, блядь. Что это такое, нахуй?
Information for his team, because he will be able to strike, for example, Kono and make him a
Где, блядь, я ж только что видел?
one shot to anybody.
Вот этого.
And if Barbarian wants to use the strike,
177, понял.
another question, or he was just gathering some information. Looked like he was just gathering some information, but now Bark is taking a shot. Dark is taking 2 shots actually. Drops to 412 as well. Makes the peak there, but Baby and Liberty very aware, instantly hit him with the 1-2 combination. And now though, you can see Mafia is really scratching their head, like how did they clean this up? Because they're not winning like this. They're slowly going to lose the strike.
Yep, that is the question. Ozek, they're once again getting spotted in that A4, trying to peek around the corner of the map, but doesn't really get any information for that either. Barbarian holding the angle on towards the 1-2
Yeah.
as well, and still there is almost 5 minutes
Надо вниз, 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 вниз.
to lose little, but they still have Barbarian as a playmaker. 2000 HP on his tank, also 1500 on that M60. That can still make something happen. Either now Ozek trying to come close here, and Baby probably has this ability that tells him that something is a foul in front of him. And actually Ozek, he doesn't connect. This means that Liberty does want to commit in.
12 там, понял.
By Marcel here in that Centurion Action X. Now the strike does come down. It connects on 2 tanks, and this means that Liberty does get picked up by Barkis. It is 3 versus 5. It is down to the wire. There is a strike being picked up, however, on the side of Cashback as Barbarian kills one of the Mafia tanks. Are they able to get more value with those strikes currently?
Хорошо.
Still too healthy. Ozek also not down towards one shot quite yet. Barbarian takes another one on the way out.
Yeah, maybe they're in a tough position because look at this, Barkis and Orchek, the hunting wolves are coming, reloading normal ammo, I would assume, to pick him up. The 1-2 combination, I mean, WE4 rolls around, and yeah, Liberty, they're leaving that hole. He had a bit interesting, bit of a surprise. Little finds a strike kill. Both him and Barbarian have used their strikes now, by the way. It's just the indicator is not entirely on the money. So they need to find a kill.
Indeed, they need to find yet another kill. Conrad would be a possibility, but still 3 minutes and 20 seconds to go. Obviously, the fact that all of the objectives are scattered kind of around the middle of the map and the Mafia tanks are there.
Хуйло, сука.
You know, that would be a big problem for anyone.
Ёбаный пи...
And obviously, Conrad is gonna try and take...
Пи-пи-пи-пи-пи-пи-пи-пи-пи-пи-пи. Число пи-пи-пи-пи-пи-пи.
There is anyone that really
Ненавижу число пи, блядь.
Barbarian is low HP. Conrad most likely a 3-shot.
Особенно на арте, блядь.
Marcel is there to support, so Barbarian
Хуеса, сука.
if he tried that.
Conrad picking up the strike. Barbarian is looking to potentially peek that, trying to get some damage, but him and Little have not much to do. They did a really good job at clawing back
Yeah, really good job.
Раки пошкоджені.
in this battle.
Yeah, Cashback, they tried to really get those openings with
Ой-ой-ой-ой.
for the longest time. It seemed like a possibility, but I think
Канцамонен. Блядь, они это будут еще дрочить, блядь.
was that the
Сука, до завтра, нахуй.
were doing was kind of spread out over all those prisoners.
Отвечаю, блядь.
It didn't translate in towards a gun advantage, and that is obviously what you need when you start pushing in with the BADGERs. You don't want to have so many enemy guns anymore. Look,
Any guns, anymore.
probably running low noise, does even outspot Barbarian, who is unable to retaliate. He goes down towards one shot, but there is the Centurion AX to pick it up. Little left in the 1 versus 3. Basically an unwinnable scenario, because also he's the one
Мы еще и проебали.
of the Cent AX.
I don't think that Little's gonna go for it. They'll probably use the time to talk about the next battle, or maybe he'll drive down. I mean, there's only 1 minute left. This is Mafia bringing again a point up. Yeah, that E100 in the beginning. I don't know, Kihan. Like, okay, they traded off from the hill, but still 1 thing down.
Yeah, I don't really agree with leaving the E100 there. Like, what does it realistically do except
Oh, no.
2 shots and then die? I mean, obviously he was also facing up against like triple Britska. That is basically the perfect thing.
Понял, 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 понял.
Yeah, little
Понял, понял, понял.
spot the Centurion, however, he only hits one of the house blocks. Marcel now gonna peek out. That was probably Hesh as well. He's gonna pick it up, and once again, Mafia are up a point in the
А,
final
сука.
4-3.
It all started with that E100. I think he did like
Проебали, проебали, быть такой мы проебали. Охуенный бой, охуенный.
evacuate.
Охуенный всей боецкий.
They left behind all the resources
Такс.
of their players to get out of there.
1400.
Pockets where he was with Baby, I think they were trying to make a move, but they had more time to work with before they had to make something like drastic.
47, 56. 8000, ёбаный в рот.
So it went pretty good.
8000, 8000.
Proper amount of tanks there to deal with.
Ах ты, сука, блядь.
Shots. And at the end, we are left with yeah, the E100 doing exactly 1 shot of damage. So that one, I mean, realistically, what could Iset have done in the position that he was in?
Get a
Not
faster
really
tank.
a lot. Yeah, like not. Yeah, I think it's not really his issue.
Grab
like
some
his,
rockets to the tank.
him misplaying. Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know.
Coming to you soon, the 3D attachments from Wargaming that actually push you in rocket.
How do we call it then? The BZE100?
And then no, but imagine those 3D attachments, they actually like ended up being boosters.
That would be kind of crazy. Or like, imagine like there is also, I think, the harpoon or something. Like if you can just hook someone and pull them close.
Зараз вони дізнаються, де лихо живе.
Anyway,
I mean, it's
Boarded.
gonna be a close game.
Ух, ебать. Ублюдская.
How close they are, and neither of the two really seems to be ahead at this moment in time.
Зараз.
Back and forwards. This round,
Ой, блядь, не говори нахуй. Чтоб ты понимала, я его, короче, не могу никогда найти. В итоге я купил нахуй пакет, его нашел. Сука, все 12 штук забрал, которые были в магазе. Это Winter Edition. Winter Edition. Вот. И, короче, он лимитированный. Я смотрел на Амазоне, ящик 24 Red Bull, по 12 вот это Oz. Значится, $280 он стоит. И будет 19 января ближайшая доставка. Это когда последний раз смотрел. Вчера я смотрел, короче, нигде его нельзя заказать. Red Bull, свяжитесь со мной. Да, короче, это ужас. С этими, блядь, редбулами, но ёбнешься. Просто пиздец.
2,000, 3,000 damage with the bats as well from the hill. But it's
Кумарит эта хуйня, блядь.
the gun is always annoying.
yes, exactly. So it's like
Да.
gave up little or yeah, and sort of-
Если бы, да кабы, как говорится.
So I think some of the strategies that Cashback seems to be employing on Himmelsdorf could use, let's say, a bit more refined.
Что, еще не приехали, хлопчики?
I think that is pretty.
Нет?
Pretty fair weight.
Ладно, поехали дальше.
So being said, I think maybe they are going to prove me wrong in the next and coming round on Himmelsdorf. There is one more and
Сейчас бах, поджог, блядь.
Cashback. I mean, they were pretty close to winning this last one.
Ну, конечно.
If they start
То это самое.
and
Я себе сижу, балдею.
we're
Хуйню
still
делаю, как говорится.
100, but not as much. But let's see what they have cooked up because
Ой, а что там, пацаны? Вы где, блядь?
that are
Вы где? Где вы?
experimentation.
Я хочу, блядь, напихать
I like the part
вам, братяку, писюшки. Ну скажи, не молчи. Где ты есть?
we didn't have a big hill commitment yet, but we'll see enough
Саунд.
cashback.
Саундрес. Бля, шакмек. Заказать себе. Халапенисом, вот эти моменты.
Sente-X, double Briska, 1v4 and double WZ-113 GFT. Now, why do people
Бля, в натуре, шо, типы тупо поехали всей бандой туда? Ну ёбнутые.
really like tier 10?
Салатес, оливьетес.
And you have pretty good DPM with
Я в ахуе.
pretty crazy heat pen as well, I think.
Не, прикольно.
So you end
Тардинес,
through stuff
салатес,
at the end.
финазес. Опа. Нихуя себе, один приехал, блядь. Воин. Кто ты, воин? О, все, начинается. Братан, пиздуем.
The middle here, they're gonna send Conrad in that BADGER to immediately pick up the spotting tower. Conrad also that interesting, that cozy position that
Не, надо вот этого. Блядь.
earlier today as Kono is immediately driving in towards the artillery strike. I said is once again the closest one towards the enemy tanks.
Ой-ой-ой-ой-ой-ой.
And the second one as well has retaliated on towards
Салаты с халапенисом это имба, ебать.
damage as well, but he gets tagged on the cross, and now the tanks of Cashback.
Давайте вот этого буртанем. Давай. Погнали.
That are kind of
Let's go. В атаку.
that are coming in.
20...
Coming back, Barbarian, Twilight, Liberty pushing back in. Barbarian leading the charge like we so often see him coming back in. The mediums are crossfiring though. Conrad and Marcel coming back in as well. But look at the flank, baby squeezy in the double batch at 25T now pounding in from
Пушкин.
as well. But they're a little bit late to the party. Mafia already
С
finding
халапенисом салатик.
first kill, and now they're switching.
Ладно, все, братан.
Are pretty low as
Братан,
well.
погнали.
Yet alive
Погнали, погнали, погнали. Опа!
in that E4.
Чикс.
Deleted by a profusion.
Чикс.
I said he was the first target. He'll be
Ебать заряжающий, да, хуярит, ебать, чисто на зарплату, блядь.
four from Cashback, and he gets
Отвечаю, нахуй.
has one more shot. He's reloading now.
Отвечаю. Тип на зарплату хуярит, ебать, у меня так заряжать раз в 3 секунды, ебать.
5 rounds, and I don't think they're gonna be able to do it as they
Поехали, 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 поехали.
no star performances. from
Как там в атаку, блядь, ебаный в рот.
Check puts him down, and now Squeezy and Baby with
ВКшечка. ВКонтакте ты домой едешь сейчас.
too little.
Иди в VPN. Ух ты, блядь.
Squeezy does start clipping
За VPN ВКонтакте, блядь.
but Profuse from the sideline is going to absolutely
Должен идти.
to that as he even rams into it. The Centurion to pick it up, and now
Сюда.
remaining here. Even
Братан, давай. Черчилль, еще один, блядь.
Kubica and
Ладно, я пока туда, сука, заеду, хай, блядь, забирают. Я вот этих пидоров. Не-не-не-не-не-не-не, блядь! Долбоёб, долбоёб, не-не-не-не-не-не-не-не, нельзя, 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 не то, не то подумали. Пидорунки, 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 то подарки, подарки, подарки.
Yeah.
Блядь. Отвечаю. Это все фейки. Это хвейки, хвейки, хвейки. Хвейки, хвейки.
um,
Сука.
they didn't do anything overtly
Чиназис.
difficult here.
Это пиздец. Отвечаю.
Wants to kinda immediately
Нельзя такую хуйню делать, нельзя.
right there.
Блять, пока доеду, нахуй, отвечаю, ебать, уже и, сука, бой закончится.
1-2, who knows? But actually, who is a good thing? Who cares?
Ой-ой-ой-ой-ой.
On pushing, rolling up, rolling over the enemy tanks, and that is exactly what we see here. Barbarian
Ну, ругаться можно, но
enemy tanks, but the thing is the focus
плохие слова говорить нельзя. По типу,
PM
ты
available
поняла, что я перед этим сказал.
for the team of Mafia was just always higher, and that is where they essentially ended up snowballing this game once again. And you know, the team of Cashback, they were trying to like play some complicated tactic. They were trying to, you know, take map control, take the hill as well. And for Mafia, it was just
Челленджер.
force. They literally took the Juggernaut ability and
Да, вот это ж нельзя не по вот этим всем
head through the wall, and it worked.
моментам ничего базарить.
He had all the info though as well. Don't forget that. I mean, if you're Mafia, you have the info point in the beginning, so they get the info and they just roll from that point on.
Охуенно я покатался, да? Нормально тупо полбоя проехал, ебать. Какой полбой? Весь бой прохуярил, ебать, на, сука, на заниженной, блядь.
Does allow you to set up some pretty good positions, and they did that with the AX, I think, and the Batchat that were going towards the 4-5 line.
Ну, не в этом, не здесь.
D-line, we're shutting down the D-line.
Оскорбление ж типа за расовую вот это и ориентацию, это ж не считается свободой слова, когда ты поняла.
Right, now we have
Происходит.
Bunker upcoming, and I think that is kind of interesting as
Свобода слова это когда ты можешь высказать свое мнение, но когда ты говоришь, что те или иные такие плохие или неплохие или еще что-то, это ж, ну, типа,
be messed with.
как я понимаю в своем, ну, типа, моменте.
Also, Ensk up and coming, and
Енск.
yesterday already. Cashback in the entirety of OLS and this tournament as well has a 100% win rate
Not anymore.
on
They
Ensk.
lost against Dopa.
They lost against
Андрей 31 Рус 609. Что там, белгородский братик? А что ты нахуй сидишь на европейском сервере? Пиздуй на лесту, брат.
Still, OLS rings true. on
Белгородский. Как дела там? Интересно у него.
Well, they have a good win rate on Ensk. Let's put it that way. I was so happy to bring like some inside knowledge, you know, and then they actually.
Don't worry, don't worry.
You're gonna get.
Не, ну ты ж можешь это сказать мягче.
Yeah, but I'll always be younger than you.
Я типа там
Entirely.
нетолерантно отношусь к тому или иному. Но,
Looking at it from the other side.
то есть, в чем прикол? Когда ты, получается, нетолерантно относишься, то ты, получается, черт. Тебя там осуждают. А когда наоборот толерантно, то ты, блядь, молодец, когда пропагандируешь эту хуйню. Ну, типа, блядь, это как-то не так должно работать, как по мне.
On towards the match point, then I mean, a comeback is still possible, but it grows increasingly unlikely for Cashback.
And I would be very, very, very happy for Mafia if they were to close out this match after, you know, missing
Да, на ютубе проще, на кике вообще там
this tournament and
похую, блядь.
compensate for what they've lost
Что, получаю в бочину сейчас, да?
at the same
Бух, ебать, нет? Ух ты, нихуя себе.
something.
Нихуя себе, сказал я себе.
Another victory under the belt.
Like a feel-good one.
Well, let's see.
Ах ты, сука.
Are trying to
Пусть спрятал, блядь.
the gap in the scoreline, and they're gonna do so. Excuse me. I think right now for this one the sides are a little bit switched. Yeah, Mafia seems to be on.
Не пробив.
So Mafia is coming in with an RHM, a Foshby, double Briska, double C.
Давай, теряйся.
So it's finally switched and the bad shot. Cashback.
Дай тигра похуярю. Пока есть возможность.
Mafia bring in their IHM, so not attack. Force B, double Blitzka, double CS, and the bad. They have
Да
really,
и тебя, лоха, могу похуярить.
if you remember,
Ой-ой-ой,
using them to disengage.
тигруля. Наигрался уже.
Choice from them.
It is interesting, but so far what they've been able to do, it was pretty cool by Mafia.
Да-да-да-да-да. Именно оно.
Always seem to find the right window to run and still gun, especially against hit and run.
Ебать, тупо летит. Господи, шо за подкруты, блядь.
And
Я в ахуе.
so to do damage, as we do see proof.
Ебать, каждая плюха.
And I think that was a shield.
Ну тут ладно. А, все, у меня закончились голдовые. Опа, все. Пацаны наигрались.
Tower, but then Liberty actually taking it. Good dodge, yes.
Да, наберешь. Я так стал охуенно, что ты соснешь хуйца.
It's a really good dodge. So it also means Liberty doesn't have a plane for a while.
Нормально, я в ахуе, пизда, летит страшно, охуе, фаерболы, блядь.
Any kind of
Без КД, ебать. Ха-ха, нормально.
charges.
Вот это хорошая хуйня. Ха-ха. Ебать, урод. Так я ж, ну это ж восьмерочки повыезжали, семерочки, там вот эта вся хуйня, понял?
Maximum ability for him, and
Что-то пацаны не подрасчитали. А я на вот этом танке, вот этом,
with
в прошлый раз, я вот тут с той стороны как раз стал. Я один вот это точно так же, только разъебал вот эту всю движуху, короче, на вот этом танке, ебать. Типы не могли мне в этот сосок попасть, ну как у меня вот это, только там чуть поменьше, блядь.
We go left, we go right. If we don't know,
Ебать, я охуел. Да, братан, давай. Кабанах, кабанос.
yeah, they are
Кабаносик, погнал.
towards double autoloader and a tank.
Шо там бояться, блядь?
So basically Marcel would spend the entire
Глаза боятся, руки делают. Похуй, поехали. Вкатом.
are there with those mediums ready.
Вот это прикол, ебать, напихалось нормально, блядь, пацанам.
The strike, so that is a little bit
Я в ахуе.
additional safety actually for the team of Mafia.
Основной калибр, по идее, должен получить, ебать. Шо там? Ой. Типулькин. Братик. Ты тоже сейчас. Как?
more and more tanks away from 9-0 line towards 1-2 line. And honestly, if you look at the situation,
Давай, добивай. Я тебя оставляю. 60 урончика. Мне-то похуй на него.
decide to take over.
Йохохо. Ебать, ну как можно было так пикать, блядь, ебалом, ну это в ахуе.
Teams are currently very pressing.
В целом там так пикать нельзя, ну, от слова совсем. А он хуярит, ебать.
Around, that's going to be double
Дурачка кусок.
plus Batchat and the RHM with a strike available to push over the cap in towards Little. And yeah, Liberty, the Tesak is
Все, ладно, я понял.
some pushes, but none of the tanks
Да, братан, я еду уже.
have Juggernaut ability. So the Tesak, it's going to be doing a little bit of damage, but it's going to be kind of useless. And I think the Centurion also realizes now the potential to
2,5. Тип сейчас, походу, утонет.
he's going to pop it immediately. That is full information. Let's see what
Бля, ну напихалась за шиворот, ебаться, сраться, я в ахуе.
An information tower taken by I said he will see this push up on the 1-2 line, but they're far behind in this game, Kihans. They're very, very far behind.
Ебать, ну дура вообще, ну ёбнутый. Вот это правильное решение. Вот это самое охуенно правильное решение.
It's looking
Было только шоу типа, ебать.
strike immediately here.
Ох ты, нихуя себе.
At this point, and start capturing the other one, because I said now pushing in with his CS63 to face off against...
Но я думал утопится, он в итоге разбился. Кстати, первая степень. Підтримка. Даже я даже не топ-1. Нихуя себе. Ну на 7-м уровне с 8-ками 2,5 кинуть, блядь. Вот. В целом типа норм. А шо у нас тут? А у нас тут вот это. Полетели. Полетели дальше. Так, раздеваем мы маленько. А, нельзя. Раздеваем мы маленько. А где, блять, этот, сука? Стиль, на который я сейчас... Все, полетели, блять. 7-очка. Туда.
Downtown to pick it up once again. Even tanks, but 2k HP advantage actually for the team from Poland as BADGER.
Чисто эльфийки, блять, одни нахуй.
Able to Barbarian there with the Fosh once again very low, but starting
Ванесса.
with the Batchat looking for the
Залупеса.
It's not all
Перенавчити. Сюда, сюда.
once again full.
Так, погнали. Все то же самое.
As Twilight and Marcel in a very
Ой.
weird scenario, but now the Marcel, the Fosh be able to turn around and double kill for the team of
А что, не снял?
using the tanks available for the Ukrainian team here towards 2, and one of those isn't really a fighting tank as the Chesak. Yes, it has a lot of shells, but those don't do a lot of damage.
There's nothing stopping Mafia from match point at this point. Double the HP, double the tanks.
Sorry.
Close it out. They're gonna take back over the cap. Replaying in the Batchat 25T as well. And yeah, Cashback, we said it, Key. They were far behind that whole battle. The information tower being taken by Barkers just put the nail in the coffin, man. They get all the info. They're like instantly driving down 1-2. And I said, you know, he instantly goes to challenge the strike because he knows he needs to do something, right? But maybe still even a little bit over eager at that point. But he needs at least a mini strike.
Yeah, and he didn't get that one. Now we do see Liberty in that Tesak
Вот тут уже придется покупать ту.
but ends up paying with a lot of his HP for it, and there is 3 enemy tanks against him.
Тут уже вот так можно поиграть на 7-очках.
Force that little pesky light tank to come close because well, if all 3 of them actually make it into the cap, that it could do that as well, but I think YOLO is now going to give chase.
Люди формують манери. Ну похуй, хай буде этот. Хай буде цей.
That RHM, if he chooses to use HE, Liberty taking the strike now does get reset by another strike on towards his own tank, and this basically means that he cannot really take off the one strike anymore. I mean, he does completely open up against YOLO, but YOLO steps back and Mafia take match point.
Well deserved 6-3. I mean, 3 match points for them. Now 3 possibilities and then even a tiebreaker if it gets that far. Surely.
Так, все. А, уже тайминг. Ладно, давайте один боечек. Правильно. Быстрее, пока не пропали перочки. Один боечек и к концу момент. До новых встреч, до завтра, до утра. Будем продолжать марафонить этот прикол. Each another.
So right now it is really a pleasure to watch those players going at it here.
Ай, блядь, завершено, сука, не успел в бой зайти. Хуёво.
YOLO has been farming quite heavily in that RHM throughout this tournament. Not the first time, and probably not the last time we see him that high on the scoreboard, to be honest.
Хуёво.
And yeah, Liberty trying to do what he can, even 3 kills to his name, but to be honest, I think the biggest problem for Cashback was that they were simply getting outmaneuvered, out-rotated, and they simply lost the information game. And when they finally got back on towards a spawning tower, at that point it was too late. Like, the push was already rolling by Mafia. Like, the damage... I mean, no damage had been dealt, but the damage was done regardless, if that makes sense.
So, what are we thinking? Does Mafia close it out here, Key?
Ooh, difficult. Judging by the match between Mafia and Hit and Run, Mafia has quite a few problems when it comes to.
Что тут по скорости у нас сейчас будет? А ну-ка.
Say they do it immediately.
А, ну по идее та же. Даже меньше, потому что там больше, блядь.
Possibilities obviously there. Who are we kidding? But
Это получается мне слева... Блядь, что за, сука, уёбство, нахуй? Ну просто, блядь, это...
at least extend
Блядь, ну, ебанешься.
every
А не танк, нахуй.
is
Какой он, блядь, конченый.
they are with their
Как можно, блядь, такой, блядь, вообще дизайнер?
Mafia has
Тупо у дизайнера, походу, блядь,
delivered this
вавка в голове.
knockout punch.
Я вахаю. Пиздец.
One more. But like I said, I mean,
One more.
Mafia wins
One more. Опа.
You know what I mean? Like,
Что там, пацаны?
more or less. Hit and run won WCI and Mafia wins.
Чего, блядь?
Store Winter Invitational. I mean, I feel like they got the, how to say it, the least lucky end of the
Да, блядь, сено ёбаное, блядь, мешает, нахуй.
I mean,
Ебать попало, вот это, сука.
do it all right. They have
Фу, блядь.
and that is something that not
Семечки, нахуй.
been able to do in the past. Like also in OLS, I think Cashback was one of the teams with the highest win rate. I think they also made it as place 1 of the regular season. And then obviously ended up making it through the playoffs as well as the victor. So that just comes to demonstrate that Cashback losing is not something you see normally. But maybe today is the day. I mean, we have seen one of the giants already falling earlier in the tournament to Mafia, no less. Hit and run, but Cashback now trying to stay alive in the tournament. And indeed, it is tournament. It is elimination point here. Mafia left to do it all in this single round with a Tessak of their own this time, together with Foshby, Quadruple Briska, and the Centeax.
Cashback then, trying to defend here with a Bats, a CS, an EX, a Bliska, a Fosh B, a 268v4, and a Tessak. One of each.
Добить, чтобы я проехал.
One
Красиво.
each, and while that means that obviously there are a lot of specialist tanks that are going to be very good at doing different kinds of things, that also means, oh, good reset there coming out on towards Liberty by that Tessak of YOLO. That's going to delay it a little bit more, but at the same time, Kona and Profuse, they're trying to take the strike. Once again, shield attempted, but both of them get reset. So the initial damage here favoring Cashback.
Good stuff there, getting the resets. No info point taken for Mafia. Now they're the ones trailing in this battle. They will see that Mafia is now responding by pushing up onto Lian immediately. So good stuff there. And is Isaac able to get crossfired? Is a good question.
Well, first of all, Liberty was once again getting spam sprayed by YOLO, so he wasn't able to take the informational tower.
Домой.
So still no full information available.
Домой.
But we do see on the 1-2 line there's a push forming up, and that is Centeax, Foshby.
Ты тоже сейчас поедешь в ангарчик? Ой, как больно. Ой, страшно. Добьет?
Only YOLO to cover. That is not really a lot of firepower.
Добьет.
Cell is out of position.
Все, хватит.
Realizing that this is happening is going to be pulling back the sack of Liberty coming in, but immediately getting punished as well. Can he commit in? Barbarian pops his ability.
Хороший бой. Хороший бой. Хороший бой.
To put him down, who's gonna do it? It's Aka from the back that finds it. I said immediately falling though, but Kono does not live.
Несемся.
And this knockout punch from Cashback looking good so far. Maybe in a little bit too far with that EX at this moment in time, as Barkis and Profuse are combining on towards Twilight, and that is a lot of damage nonetheless in that Bliskovice. Barkis is now reloading. Profuse there trying to shield a little bit too late on that one, but he should find the kill against Twilight. But is Twilight able to get Barkis in return? That's another question.
Давай, свети, братан.
For the ability to runs out, finds a kill in return, but now he's getting pushed from two ends. Squeezy already coming with the flank. He's gonna try and give a shot to Barbarian, but
Да успею я.
he's gonna be healing most of that back.
Да успею.
Picked up by Liberty. It's 4-on-2.
Слідкую.
Cashback, and they now in the driving scene.
And you can also see Barbarian here currently having
Блять, семечки эти меня заебали, нахуй, отвечаю, блять. Это просто пиздец, нахуй, как так можно, блять.
Does get shot, does get blamed. It's going from bad to worse for him. and Cashback say to the god of elimination, not today.
At least one more round as now Squeezy's like, okay guys, I'm willing to jewel it up.
Bulk.
Not that much maybe.
Bulk.
Liberty comes back in with a sack.
Как оно медленно хуярит, ебать, это пиздец.
Sack of YOLO, Barbarian with the Forge B. Another rampage there for him. YOLO's still trying, but it's a little too late. As Squeezy picks it up, and yeah, and that initial reset there, Kihan, cost Mafia quite a bit.
Indeed, the initial reset enough to, you know, lower the HP to take away a lot of options, because realistically that's what's happening there as well, is if the more HP...
Да давай бей меня, стреляй, стреляй меня, стреляй меня, стреляй меня.
Like, I think the players here, especially in this competitive environment, they see HP as a
Стреляй меня.
and at some point in time, if you lose too much HP, then you don't have enough resources to like consider some moves as an option anymore. But yeah, Mafia unable to get the first one, to convert the first match point, but that still means that they have 2 more before we would be heading onto a tiebreaker. And this
Здорово, здорово, братан.
are, first of all, like
Хорошо.
a look at the damage numbers, because
Хорошо, все будет хорошо.
Mafia that
Yeah.
were not really able to pull their weight this battle,
Last
because they immediately
boy, last boy, last boy, last boy.
was just absolutely
I
brutal.
mean, it was Conrad and Orchek on the cap. Conrad was one of the things who were going middle, but the moment you were YOLO middle, you also end up getting shot by the tanks from Cashback. So for Cashback, you know, they pick up another round here. And looking at the roster, like Twilight is back in. I don't know how much switching they've done, but like at some point they have to settle on a line, right?
No, actually, in this online format, you can switch as many times as you want. Or do you mean like as a team? Like they should agree on a like first lineup. But here, after every round.
Ладно, все, ребятульки. До завтра, до новых встреч. Полетели мы висеть, балдеть и отдыхать. Все, на связи, подписываемся. Кто смотрит записи, всем лайк, всем приветик, всем хай, всех обнял.